Welcome to the channel, dear friends. Today I want to tell you about the 10th part of the popular franchise, Fast X. Watch out for spoilers. 10 years ago, Dominic Toretto and his crew stole a safe containing money from local drug lord Hernan Reyes. With the help of 2 cars, they hauled the safe away in its entirety. Hernan and his son Dante pursue the robbers. Dominic unhooks the rope and drives toward Hernan, using the safe to knock the cars around. At the last moment, Dominic reverses the car and the safe pushes Dante off the bridge and crushes Hernan Reyes. The action is transported to the present day, Los Angeles. Dominic teaches his son Brian how to race a car, but the son is not happy with the result. The family gathers to celebrate the arrival of Dominic's mother. She says she's very happy they have such a family. Everyone is having a very cool time. Tomorrow, a military computer chip will be transported through the streets of Rome, and the agency asks Dominic Toretto and his team to steal the chip. Dominic talks to Han. Brian is clearly making progress. They are sure their children will be better off than they were. Dominic looks at pictures from the past. His mother comes in, saying he will never go astray. Dominic and his wife Letty Ortiz stay with their son Brian, while the rest of the team heads to Rome on a mission. That evening, Dominic's former enemy Cypher, wounded, arrives at the house and informs him that Dante Reyes, son of drug lord Hernan Reyes, has turned her team against her, threatening their families and using them to target Dominic in retaliation for the death of his father and the loss of his family's fortune 10 years earlier. Cypher fights off his former colleagues and gets out. A state law enforcement agent, Little Nobody, takes Cypher into custody, but informs Dominic and Letty that there is no agency mission in Rome. Realizing Dante has set them up and it's a trap, so they head to Rome. The team prepares to steal the chip from the truck. They surround the convoy and Ramsey and Tej jump onto the truck. They climb inside, but the doors are blocked and the truck is self-driving. Dante blows up the cars accompanying the convoy. Inside the truck turns out to be a huge bomb. Dominic and Letty pursue the truck. The bomb can only be defused by stopping the truck, which is on its way to blow up the Vatican. Dominic releases a rope from the car. The truck flips over. They manage to stop it at the last moment, but the bomb falls down the hill. The team hides in the sewers. Letty goes after Dante and Dominic goes after the bomb. At the last moment, Dominic manages to stop it. Mr. Nobody goes to defuse the bomb, but Dante blows up his car, which pushes the bomb away. Letty continues to pursue Dante, but she is surrounded by the police. Dante sets off the bomb, 30 seconds left to detonate. The bomb is almost at the Vatican. Dominic uses a crane to push the bomb into the river and an explosion occurs. The news reports an explosion in the center of Rome. The alleged perpetrators are Dominic Toretto and his team. The head of the agency, Mr. Nobody, is missing. His daughter Tess wants someone to come to Dominic's defense, but the new head Ames thinks they were involved in the bombing. Most of the agency members are in favor of exterminating Dominic's team. Dominic meets with Elmanson Shaw, leader of the women's militia and an ally of Dominic's. She reports that the team has gone into hiding, but Letty has been caught, and Dominic is the world's most wanted criminal. Meanwhile, Brian is having a nice time with his aunt. Agency soldiers break into the house. Mia fights them off. Brian is found by Dominic's brother Jacob, who has come to rescue his sister and Dominic's son. They deal with everyone. Jacob takes Brian to Dominic. Tess meets Dominic. She finds information about Reyes' son, Dante, who is in Rio. Dominic asks to get Letty out of a secret prison. In a container, the team makes their way to London. Tess comes to Letty's house. She gets her out. Tess pretends Letty attacked her, but then just walks away. The action begins in Rio de Janeiro. Dominic arrives at a race party, where Dante also happens to be. Dominic has taken his father and the family's money, so he decides to get his revenge. Dante thinks Brazil is his, but for many, respect is more important than money. Dante proposes a race, instead of pointless shooting. The racers get on the start line and the race begins. The racers activate the speed, but with it the bombs activate. Dominic makes the choice to save the girl, but Dante blows her up as well. Dominic stops and saves her, but the race is lost. Dante is satisfied with his victory and talks to the dead soldiers. Jacob and Brian change their names. Dante steals all the money he has saved from the team's accounts, but Roman turns out to have the cash. The rescued girl's sister turns out to be Dominic's former lover, but she is dead. The team goes to the store to buy weapons. They meet an acquaintance of Ramsey, a black market owner. Roman and Tej blame each other and they start a fight. Ramsey's acquaintance immediately gives away their location and they leave. Letty and Cypher are tied up, but Cypher puts the scientists to sleep and they get out. They start a fight and Letty wins. The ex-lover had information on Dante. The only place he can be is an abandoned site. The girl wants to go with Dominic, but he forbids her. Dominic knows Ames is watching him. Ames is surrounded by guys, but he fights them off. Jacob and Brian are already on the plane. Jacob tells them that he used to be very afraid of cars, unlike Dominic. They go to the bathroom, people follow them. Jacob disarms them and they go down to the luggage compartment, thanks to a stewardess they know. There turns out to be a folding mini airplane, which they take off in. Han leads the team to a place where they can get weapons. The door is opened by Deckard Shaw, a former enemy of Dominic's. He immediately attacks Han and locks the door. They disarm, but then agency soldiers burst in and Han and Deckard fight them off. The team also fights off the soldiers. Everyone gathers and a frightened man emerges from the punching bag. Dominic makes his way to the police station, where there are many surveillance cameras. The phone rings. Dante says he's sorry they can't meet and the game isn't over. He'll cause Dominic a lot more pain. Soldiers burst in with Ames and take Dominic away. Letty gets out through the vent. Unfortunately, the prison is in Antarctica. Have to follow Cypher's plan. Deckard leads the team to his base. There are a lot of weapons and machines. Dante has hired assassins all over the world to kill not only them, but everyone who helped them. Ames isn't very happy that it was so easy to catch Dominic. Dominic says they'd better buckle up, and suddenly a rocket flies into the truck. It turns out to be Dante, who has the very same girl as a hostage. Now Ames is on Dominic's side. They take out all of Dante's men, and Tess also appears. Surprisingly, Dante lets the girl go. Dominic attacks him, but then a sniper shoots from a helicopter, hitting Tess and Ames. Dominic manages to save the girl. Dante takes a satellite device from Tess, which allows him to find Dominic's son. Tess gives Dominic his cross. The girl takes her to the hospital. Jacob and Brian arrive in Portugal, at a secret location. Roman thinks leadership is not for him because he screwed up, but Tej doesn't think so and they make up. Dante's men arrive at the secret location. Jacob and Brian get out in the car he designed. They fight off the enemies with rockets attached to the car. The plane descends to the track and Dominic jumps off in the car. They drive into a tunnel. Brian climbs out to fix the rocket, but is suddenly grabbed by Dante, who was chasing them. Jacob and Dominic chase Dante, but Jacob runs out of gas, all hope for Dominic. Jacob uses rockets and jumps on enemy cars, blowing them up and himself. The helicopters hit Dominic's car, but he manages to blow them up. Dominic tells Brian to remember their lessons. He shoots down Dante and at speed Brian jumps into Dominic's car. Pulling into the causeway, Dominic sees that there are trucks blocking the road on both sides. Dante says it's not that simple and he's right where he needs to be. The team flies up to rescue him, but the plane gets hit by a missile. It turns out to be Ames. He wasn't going to go over to Dominic's side. He was originally on Dante's side. Dante launches the Furies. At the last moment, Dominic jumps off the causeway. The fire almost catches up to the car, but they manage to escape. Dante launches the bombs on the dam. Letty and Cypher arrive at the submarine. It turns out to be Mia. This concludes the first film in the final trilogy about Dominic and his crew. Thanks for watching and good luck.